Hello, my name is Pearson Saka with Qlik IT Solutions, and welcome to my review of Qlik Sense April 2019. Today we're going to be looking at some of the new features and functionality that are included in the latest release of Qlik Sense. And these changes include some improvements in the associative insights, the user experience, and some new charts in the visualizations bundle. Qlik's associative model empowers everyone to see the whole story within their data, and it enables users to see all the possible associations that exist within their data. Unlike traditional query-based approaches to analysis, this allows users to explore all their data and uncover all the hidden insights. Now, to help uncovering these insights, Qlik have added a new feature to the associative insights that gives the users the ability to compare their current selections and the excluded selections against any given measure that they have in their master measures. Now, this shows the power of Qlik to uncover those blind spots that you might have in your data and review those relationships that users could have otherwise missed. Now, how does this work? Say, for example, I'm in my application and I have made selections, just leveraging the power of Qlik stories. If I go to my sheet, when I go to selections, I am able to generate the insight to see the selection that I've made, and I can see that in this region it covers 44% of the actual measure that I get as a result of that in total cost. So when I go into selections, I can see that the selection that I've made, the contribution to total cost is 45%. But that's what you can see in the rest of the application when you're exploring. What has been hidden was the ability to see what's not included in this selection that I have made. Now, if I select number of customers, I can see that 51 out of the 130 customers are excluded, and those customers contribute to 21 million, which is 55%. Now, the power to see what's not included within the selections that you've made, not only from a gray perspective, but actually see the values of those numbers, is very powerful. Usually, users ask why the number is the way it is without actually seeing the underlying data, and this gives you the power to go and explore and see that data and understand why your cost or your sales are the way they are. And that is the power of Qlik in Qlik. With that, you can also go back to your selections and continue to make more selections or change your selections, regenerate your insights, and those selections will be applied, and you can continue to explore your data without reloading the application. Additional improvements also include a more intuitive user experience when developing applications. This new addition allows users or developers to see their selections while editing visualizations. This gives them more context when they're building applications. You can also now make selections when you're building those applications. Now let's go and build some charts in Qlik Sense. So to start with, to edit a shape, you've got an option that is highlighted green there to say edit. Now when I'm in edit mode, I can see it now prompts me to go back to view the sheet, and I've got all the other options that I usually have when I'm creating a chart. Say for example, I want to create a simple KPI. Everything is still the same. I can drag my KPI and drop it in there. But you can see that the way my chart is now displayed is different from previous versions, where I now have a highlighted border which shows me which sheet I am currently editing. If I add a measure of expense amount, I have an option to say stop editing, put this KPI in full screen, or I can just click on the edge of the borders as I usually would normally do in the other versions of Qlik to resize it. Because the new release allows users to click on a sheet while it's in edit to make selections, there is a new addition to move your sheet. Now this allows you to move the sheet, and you now don't have to click in the middle of the chart for you to move it. Now say for example I create a bar chart with a simple measure of year and expense amount. This now allows me to make selections while I'm still in edit mode to give me context on my numbers. I can also again use the new edit move functionality to move my chart to the position that I would want it to be. While I'm still in edit mode, I can see my selections that I've made, and I can clear selections. When I'm done editing, all I can do is click view and I will go back to the normal analysis mode. So in visualizations and mapping, Qlik have introduced a bar and area chart, a bullet chart in the visualization bundle, and some new capabilities to set default maps, backgrounds, and improve customizations in the mapping area of Qlik Sense. The bar and area chart can be used to create simple stacked bar charts. You can also enhance the charts with transitions and connectors, and use the 100% bar chart options to make all stacked bar charts the same height. The bullet chart is also included in the new visualizations bundle, which displays a gauge with some extended options. The bullet chart can be used to display a gauge with some extended options, usually used to visualize and compare a performance of a measure to a target as you would with a gauge in Qlik Sense. So in this sheet, I have a simple gauge of expense versus budget. And what I can do with the new bullet chart is, if I go into edit mode and drag my bullet chart onto my sheet and extend it, I can add measures. My first measure will be the actual value of the bar as I would have in a normal gauge. And I can also add another measure for my target, which will be my expense budget. And I would like to visualize this by region. So I have an option to add region as my dimension. And I can also customize this gauge to put more space on my dimension levels so that they can be readable, reduce the size of my bars, change the color of the marker, and also make consistent dimensions. Now this shows it as a percentage to the target. Now this shows it as a percentage to the target. I can also change the color of the actual bars themselves to a color of my choice. Now, as I would in any other Qlik Sense chart, I also have an option of excluding null values. Thank you for watching. See you in the next release.